is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura RDX for only $399 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free, Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Hope all is well out there. Hope you're doing good on a Tuesday, May 6th. 2025. All right. Night after or day after the game. Rough night last night. It was one of those where I walked away feeling pretty good. I gotta say. And they lost, right? How do you feel pretty good? It's different when you're a Dolphins fan or you're a Heat fan or you're a Marlins fan or something after a loss, because it's a different atmosphere. It's a different level of confidence or lack of there, or rut or whatever. This is a championship caliber team. And last night, what I saw was championship caliber heart and determination. They played a sloppy game. Bob was not sharp. Okay, that wasn't a game like the Panthers looked like the Panthers in the third period. They didn't look like the Panthers in the first two periods. They looked like the aggressor in the third period. They were all over it. They were playing the kind of defense that they were normally, like they would, check your ass, and it looks like there's like 7 guys on the ice. They did not play like that. They did not start the game like that. They weren't sharp offensively. They weren't sharp defensively. There was turnovers. Bob wasn't sharp also. So it was just like one of those where the game started and they kind of weren't in a groove. And then in that third period, it kind of lit a fire in them. And they got in a groove and scored those quick goals and made it a game. And hey, look, man, to Toronto's credit, they deserve what they got yesterday, a victory. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to tip your hat. But did I lose an ounce of confidence? No, I actually felt better. At the end of the game, I'm like, oh, so this is how we're going to lose this game? Like, okay, they came to play in one period and you beat them by a goal. Okay, I'm good. So my team played one good period and they lost by a goal. I'm good. I know these guys are going to come back and give me 3 periods of this on Wednesday. So I'm feeling better that they can leave Toronto 1-1. And that's fantastic. Where we're going to sit here and say, oh, no, they've got to win two, both. I mean, give me a break. So it's the NHL playoffs. So I got to tell you, yeah, we can talk about how sloppy they played. We can talk about Bob wasn't sharp. I'm good. I feel great. If that's my kind of loss, I'll take it. To me, the Panthers looked like, okay, wait a minute. If that team showed up for 3 periods, that game's not 5-4. That's the way I look at it. So, okay, again, whole different ball game. If the Heat are losing to such and such team or whatever, Indiana or whatever, it's a different feeling. It's a different feeling because all you think is, well, the Heat or the Dolphins got hot for a moment, like any team can do in pro sports, scored a couple points, but the team that is better just said, yeah, sure, dude, relax. You're not winning this. That's the way you feel when it's the Heat and the Dolphins losing a game like this one. But when it's a championship proven team that is tough, I tweeted out yesterday, the Panthers possess everything your sports team should have. Meanwhile, the Heat and the Dolphins don't have any of those characteristics that the Panthers have. The toughness, the character to stay in the game, the ability to get back into the game. I mean, it's just the resiliency. They played like shit on the road in a really tough atmosphere, and they lost by a goal, dude. Playing like shit. They played like shit and lost by a goal. I'm good, man. I'm good, dude. I'm good. Okay? That's our Panthers playing like shit. Okay? That's the way you got to look at it. That's our Panthers playing like shit, and look how they ended. 5-4. Not worried one bit. Oh, and by the way, they get Ekblad back for game 2. So, I have no issues with anything going on there. I don't know how you all feel out there. Let me get a feel for it. By the way, Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. And make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. They've got it going on right now. They've got the 17th anniversary sale going on right now. So take advantage. The ZDX, you can get electrified, $439 a month, folks. 0% financing for 72 months. And I tell you this all the time because I've been driving an Acura, since, I don't know, for 15 years now. And there's either been 1 or 2 Acuras or even 3 Acuras in my family now. And so I tell you because, I talk about Craig Zinn cars because I would drive Craig Zinn cars like Acura Pembroke Pines. And we tell you about Toyota and we tell you about Subaru. Well, right now you can get on down there, and if you own an Acura or lease an Acura, doesn't matter where you bought it or lease it, you can get it serviced there at Craig Zinn, by the way. And they've got a beautiful service center. Mike Chan, Jordan Ferber, great people. You can actually relax in that atmosphere too, which is really cool. They got TVs. It's got a nice little lounge area. Got a little cafeteria. They got free water, by the way. You go to the left corner, there's a small little refrigerator on the bottom left side because some people don't know. Usually the service guys will tell you. So if you're hanging out during the service center, you can get yourself a little drink, take advantage and relax there. Great place, man. Go check out the ADX, the ZDX, the RDX, which, by the way, my wife drives. She's been driving since 2010. 15601 Pines Boulevard, and check out the fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. Amazing shape at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. And we will be there next Friday, right, Sean? Not this Friday, or is it? No, it's this Friday. It's this Friday. That's right. This Friday. This is the second Friday. That's right. We will be there this Friday. So if you happen to be in the area, come on by and say hi. All right. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Dolphin Dave is in. Thank you, sir, for the love. TJ Superman, NorCal. He's jamming some Day Seeker on Pandora while he's waiting there. Jeff in Long Island. Jonathan Cagle, Horn Dog. Wishing my wife Judy a very special happy birthday today. Happy birthday, Judy. Have a terrific day. And make sure that he takes care of you, okay? You deserve it. Let's see what else. That's, by the way, I don't know if it was Akash because I see him on
on Twitter now, and then I know he's here on the text line. If it was him or whoever it was that did the marker 88 suggestion to me, again, thank you so much. You know, one day I'd love to buy you a drink or something. Why? Because my wife loves sunsets and she loves the stars. So I was able to, you know, like get a twofer there that night. So I appreciate that immensely. So I was just thinking of that when Horn Dog talked about Judy, his very special lady. And so I know how it is. You want to come through for your special lady on her birthday or any normal day. And whoever it was that suggested marker 88, you made my Saturday an extra special day for my special person. And I thank you for that. Big Johnson, Alexis Palenzuela, Randy Gonzalez. Yeah, they just showed up in the third period. That's right. Imagine if they did the first two. That's why I'm good. I'm good. Yesterday wasn't pretty, says Juan, but we played the worst hockey in the playoffs so far, and Toronto played their best hockey, and we lost by 1. Let's win game 2. That's right. That's it. Got to find a way to win game 2, even it up, and take home ice away right away. Ray Varnicus, Skylar Tipton, Cosa Nostra, Brian Landis, Anthony Campos, One-Eyed Jack, Lenny Pena, Gus 13-8, Alexis Palenzuela. Ian says, Caspa is very interesting to me. There are too many coins to keep track of. There's a lot of bullshit out there. You have to be very careful. There's a lot of bullshit out there. And by the way, you can make some money on that bullshit. If you get it at the right moment and it pumps before it dumps and you get out, you know, I did a 19X on 21X, I'm sorry, on what was it, on SHIB a couple years back. And then I got out. And I took my profits and I got out. And then it came back down and never went back to that number again. You know what I mean? I'm not waiting for it because it's a meme coin. You know, even though they, as a meme coin, they actually have more of a, ecosystem than Doge or many of the other meme coins, Floki or whatever, Dog with Hat or whatever. They have much more of an ecosystem that they've built out, but still they haven't really been able to do anything with it, you know, so that's kind of hurt them, and that's why they haven't grown. But you have to be very careful. You have to understand what's going on, what's really being built, and what is being used for real world usage. Chainlink, everyone will use Chainlink. Why? It's the Oracle. And oracles are how you transfer information from one website to another or from the internet to the blockchain, because the blockchain is the safer internet. So when companies are moving over from the internet to the blockchain, they will need to use an oracle in order to transfer that information. So Chainlink does many other things, but they are the beast in that. So you have to understand what the real usage is of any of these companies. They're not just coins, they're companies. They're like stocks. It's the same thing, but you got to put one with the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Fartcoin, it's not a company. It's just a meme coin. It's all it is. There's nothing substance behind it. Caspa, well, Caspa is basically the fastest version of Bitcoin. And it is mass produced a lot more. It's 27 billion coins, whereas Bitcoin is only 21 million coins. So there's a finite value to Bitcoin. There's only a certain amount, and that's it. And once they're mined, they're done. And 91% of Caspa has been mined. But Caspa has the scalability, the security of it, the speed that Solana doesn't have, that Ethereum doesn't have, that Bitcoin doesn't have. So Bitcoin is going to be geared more towards store value like gold, whereas Caspa has the real potential of becoming true money, cash, dinero. So that's the thing. They now went to 10 blocks per second yesterday on Cinco de Mayo. The crescendo hard fork came in. They went from 1 block per second to 10. So now they can do even more something that Bitcoin can't do. Bitcoin needs the lightning block on the lightning network on their layer 2 in order what Jack Mallers did, which is genius. You can use Bitcoin to buy coffee and all that, but you need a layer 2 in order to speed it up, because if you did it on the regular Bitcoin blockchain, it's too slow. You can't sit there when you buy a coffee and wait 10, 15, half hour for the transaction to be approved. You can't do that, because in Bitcoin that can happen to you. But there's no real hurry for that. That's why with Bitcoin, it's better suited for you to move $100 billion. It takes the same amount of time, or $2 trillion. It takes the same amount of time because the blockchain works that way. Whereas Caspa is lightning quick. So it's made for you to buy a coffee, go pay at the car wash, go pay your bills, go pay for whatever it is that you're paying for, electricity, whatever. It's actually made to be cash because it is made to have the fluidity of what you need in order to have the speed of Visa and everything else that you have to have in today's world. These are things you have to understand, you have to study, you have to know about. Crypto's not a game. The people that, talk loosely about it, they don't really understand what's going on. They don't really understand that it's the real financial network that is being built under us. Everything will be switched to that. Everything, all business aspects, your personal life, you'll be buying your movie tickets, your concert tickets, everything on the blockchain. It's all coming, but it's just going to take some time because there's a transitional period to all of this, and it's going to take several years. Right now, we only have listen to this, we only have 993,285 people that own one complete Bitcoin in the world. There are only 21 million Bitcoins that will be mined. Okay? Got just over 1 million to be mined in the next couple decades. So there's not a lot left. Okay? And there's 8 billion people in the world. That's the scarcity part of it. As I told you, with Caspa, there's 27 billion Caspas. I believe it's 27 billion. Let me be accurate. Oh, wait a minute. My bad. Hold on. Now we'll do it this way. There we go. Let me look it up here. Max supply, 28.78 billion. And right now, the supply that's out there is 26.13 billion. So there's just a little over 2.6 billion left to be mined. So there's more Caspa, and that's why I think it's going to be legitimately, it's going to be cash. And it'll be just like Bitcoin. It'll go up in value because of its scarcity also, compared to the ruble, the dollar, the euro, that all they do is just keep turning the printers on and printing. Here in the United States, we print 10% of our money every year. So unless you're saving something that's more than 10%, you're not gaining with inflation. It's simple math. So they devalue our dollar every year by printing 10% of it. That's why Bitcoin goes up and the dollar goes down. And the value goes down and you buy less and less every year. It's not that the products are worth more, it's that your dollar's worth less. So it's really important that you understand what these companies are and what they do. And then that way you won't make the mistake. And, if you don't understand anything about crypto, then you're going to think it's just a game. And then you don't understand that Ethereum has a shit ton of businesses that are being built on it already, that are already built on it. And that's why it is the second dog in the whole race. XRP is tied to banks, where banks are moving over to the blockchain, and they'll be moving their money through the XRP blockchain. And that's kind of the, although XLM and some others will be competing with them, but XRP has got an in because they've been working at it for a while. These are things that you have to understand. While Ethereum has more business on it, Solana has more games, has more metaverse, and has meme coins. So that's how it's powered. Whereas Ethereum is taken more serious, and more of the serious businesses are on Ethereum than on Solana. It's just all kinds of stuff that you just got to understand what each coin means and what they do or they don't do. It's what you got to understand. There are coins that are there and it's sitting there, Doge and Shiv, and they don't do shit. And that's just a meme coin, Meanwhile, Avalanche has got so much going on that it's crazy, and it's something that you should be. I'm sorry, I'm not a financial advisor, but it's something that is going to be very well involved in the world. Okay, from music to movies to gaming to metaverse, there's a shit ton of stuff that's going on Avalanche, but you've got to understand all of that. So that's really the key to all of that. All right, there you go. There's a little basic crypto knowledge. What else do we have here? Ryan Ree, yes, Toronto's difficult. Corso, Devin, maybe Tua should be pretty and put out his top 5. Oh, for the, well, I'll talk about it with Feronis later. And an idiot being an idiot, what are you going to do, bro? You know what I mean? It is what it is. That's the worst part. And this is why I tell you the season's a waste. I just look forward to meeting you guys. If we do pre and post game shows somewhere, if we go to Spain, all that kind of stuff. And please help us get to Spain. Put out that QR code there. I look forward just to meeting with you guys and hanging out and talking bullshit. But I know what's coming. This season's a disaster, dude. They don't have a secondary. They don't have a head coach. You know what I mean? I just, people in that building don't believe in that guy. You have to count on Tyreek as a fan, as players, as front office, as the owner. Really, I'm going to count on Tyreek. Why would I? I'm going to count on Mike McDaniel. Why would I? You know what I mean? So I know my season is toast. And I'm prepared for that. And that's fine, dude. And I'm prepared for, unfortunately, blowing things up, which I would keep the front office. But, that's just me. I get it. They've screwed up sometimes. But I still think they've done, personnel-wise, what has come through here over the last 5-7 years under Chris is more impressive than what we've had in the past. It's just got to be managed a little bit better. But, but whatever, okay? But I know what's coming. It's the inevitable, bro. This guy's going to get fired midway 3/4 to the season. They're going to put in Weaver and all that other stuff. And, so whatever. I know what's going to happen. And they don't have enough talent, no matter who the coach is. So I'm not going to work myself up as a fan. I'm not going to hang on to all this stupid shit that's being done and said, and especially from a moron like Tyreek. You know what I mean? That he's just not worth it. That's all. The worst part is that you as a fan have to count on that. You have to count on that. His family can't count on him. His family kicked him out. That's the way I look at it. That's how sad the Dolphins situation is. They made a mistake in guaranteeing him the money when a lot of them didn't want to do it anyway. I don't know why they changed their mind. And now you've dug yourself in a hole, and this is a hole you cannot climb out of. That's all. It's pretty simple. And Tyreek, by doing what he does, constantly proves the atmosphere they're in. You got a corner that wants the hell out, and they don't want to take any more cap hits. So they've got to wait to June 1st to try to alleviate it. And, because nobody's going to give you any pick, which you're going to have to pay some salary on top of everything. You're already losing like $9 million of cap space. Now you're going to have to pay more of his salary. That's like adding insult to injury, because then that doesn't allow you to get better in the moment where you're trying to save your job. I mean, does anybody look at this? What's going on? Or do you just act like a blind ass fan and just say, oh no, everything will be all right. We will overcome, and we're going to win the division, and we're going to win playoff games this year. And no, you're not, dude. So, and those examples, they rear their head every week, dude. Every week. And they're at a complete disadvantage with Jalen Ramsey now. Absolute disadvantage. And if they keep him on the team, then he's going to be a dick the entire season. It's, I love him, but the way I feel about the Panthers is not the way I feel about the Heat and the Dolphins. I'm sorry. You get what you deserve. That's how we do it on the show. That's all. If you're good, you know how to do your job, you play well, you actually produce, you have extreme confidence. But if you never produce and you never get it done, and there's constant turmoil, which there's constant turmoil, what do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? It's not that I want to be a hater, because if I was a hater, then I'd hate on everything. And certainly I don't hate on the Panthers. But we have to be honest about our Dolphins. It's a real shit show right now. And they don't have the leader to get them out of that. And Tyreek, with his stupidity, constant stupidity, consistently proves that. Okay? That's your culture right there. You see that going on with the Panthers? You see Sam Bennett or Verhage or Barkov or somebody mouthing off about their own teammates, about life? Do you see them, their kids, turning their houses on fire? Are they divorcing their wives in public? I'm sorry, is that going on? Do they have like people like Jalen Ramsey that are dying to leave? Or a Calais Campbell who says, yeah, I've seen enough. I'm good. I'm going somewhere else. So he would have ended up in Baltimore if Arizona didn't give him the money. Like we told you. He'll end up in Baltimore unless somebody wants to give a 40-year-old a bunch of money, and they give him a bunch of money. But he wasn't coming back here. There was no effing way he was coming back here after what he saw. He's been around. He's a leader. He knows he can. It's a Titanic, and he can't save it, bro. So he doesn't want to end up like DiCaprio. So he left. Can't do anything about this, bro. You know what I mean? I've seen this movie before, over and over again. If you need a platform that you need an echo chamber to make you feel good because you only can hear the lies, so you can lie to yourself, and you can go ahead. But I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm happily going to watch my Dolphins. I'm going to cheer them on. I'm going to wish for the best. But I know a tsunami of pain is coming, and I'm expecting it. And I'm here for it because I've been doing it for 40 years. The pain, you know, it is what it is, dude. Nothing helps me. None of this compares to me sitting there stewing after the Niners and the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. So this shit is minor league to me. Nothing. Oh, the early 90s with the Bills. This is dog shit. This is nothing. This is kiddie games. Okay? That's real pain. This is all manufactured hope that just gets crushed, but it wasn't really realistic and all that kind of stuff. That's what, that's the hamster wheel that we're in right now, that we constantly want to get out of. But I've lived through the real pain. You know what I'm saying? Decent teams that just weren't good enough either, but way better than the shit that we have now. So, I know what to do. I know what to expect, and I'm not going to work myself up. Those of you that get truly pissed off at the end of the year, it's because somehow or another you gave yourself hope. And that's where you failed. Because watch Tyreek. With Tyreek, all you have to know is you have no hope because he fails everybody. He fails his family. He fails his team. Fails everybody, dude. Fails everybody. By the way, R&M Contractors, they know how to get it done. Call my guy Ray, 305-345-3649. Big Dolphin fans. He was at the F1 race this weekend. Oh, and by the way, Ray, thank you, sir. Sent in a donation this morning. Chain link. He broke the ice. He was the first guy to make. No one's made a Solana donation yet on Venmo, but you guys have made Bitcoin, obviously, Ethereum, obviously, and Ray's made Ethereum. Nobody, since they just added Chainlink and Solana, and I'm big into both Chainlink and Solana, he sent in a little Chainlink, so he broke the ice. Thank you, sir. But of course, if you need complete remodel, I'm talking about full-blown kitchen upgrades, appliances, waterproofing for your terrace, balcony. I know for condo owners, that's a big thing here in South Florida. Bathroom upgrades, floor restoration, maintenance. They do it all for you. Call my guys at RM Contractors and check it out there also on Instagram, RMC Fisher Island on Instagram, so you can see all the work that they do, which is absolutely outstanding. And tell Ray that I sent you. Good people. Let's see, what else do we have? Brian Radke, good morning to you. Jake from Palatown, thank you, sir. Anthony Kyle Campos, thank you for the love on the super chat. Big O, how trash are those Finns momentum games then let you down versus Pats 32-7? Yikes. PTSD. You must be like, I have to talk about used to it. LOL. Yes. I felt all that pain, dude. All that pain. So this stuff here is minor league, Corso, thank you also for the love in the super chat. Can I interest you in a hot dog from Dairy Queen? That's the only thing that I would rather watch a bad Dolphin season than a hot dog from Dairy Queen. Oh, man. Oh, by the way, you saw Stolarz suffered a concussion yesterday. And I don't know, man. The puck might have done it because it just doesn't seem like Sam Bennett did it. We'll talk to Colby Guy. I'm hoping that he's joining us. Let me send him a text because I just realized we're a little past here. Let's see. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I sent him the link. All right, Sean, let me here. There you go. Send him the link. Anyway, it's interesting, right? Because Stolarz, our former goalie, who's their goalie and's had a phenomenal year, he suffers a concussion. I don't think Bennett gave him the concussion, but and I'll ask Colby way more than I do about this. But I'll tell you something, dude. It's been 2 months for me. Okay? If I was a player, you know that I would not be able to play. I still have lightheadedness. When I'm laying down for a bit, I still have lightheadedness. And I still have a little bit of sensitivity in the back of my head where I slammed my head 2 months ago. Now, neurologically, everything checked out, all of that, but I still have symptoms of it. If I lay my head on something cold, the lights start spinning for like 3-4 seconds, and then it goes away. And it's still happening to this day. So when I go to bed and I put my head on the cold pillow, the lights will spin for 3-4 seconds, and they'll stop. And that's a concussion I suffered 2 months ago. 2 months ago. I would not be able to play. Obviously, what I do is, different. But I would not be able, if I was an athlete, there is no way I would be cleared. So it's just something to keep in mind, since I'm literally going through this right now, that when these people go through concussions, it all depends on the level of the concussion in the person. And I'm a great example right now. I'm, obviously I'm closer to a 60-year-old man. I'm 58, but it's lingered for 2 months still. All right, let's do it. I think Colby's ready, right? Ready to go? No? Oh, okay. All right. It says device not connected. Okay. Okay, now I think he's ready to go. There he is. All right, let's bring him aboard. Let's talk a little Oki. As the Panthers last night dropped the first game to Toronto 5-4. And Colby Guy, you can follow him on Twitter like I do, Colby D. Guy. And, of course, pucksandpalms.com and the Palm Beach Post. Colby, how you doing, my buddy?
Doing good. Just a couple of technical issues this morning, but we're all good now.
all good, man. You know what? I ended that game feeling really good about the Cats. They did nothing the first two periods. They didn't play sharp. The team wasn't sharp. The goalie wasn't sharp. And then the third period is when I started seeing actual Panther hockey, and they got right back into the game. And for them to lose by 1 goal and play a pretty crappy game in one of the toughest atmospheres in hockey, I don't know. It's a loss, but I kind of feel pretty good about the team after a loss, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the first period, things kind of snowballed on them, and they looked really shaky. But really, from like midway through the second period on, they looked like themselves. They were playing their game, and they're able to kind of jump back in there and make that comeback effort. But really, I mean, when you compare how they played in this game to the way they played round 2, game 1 of last year, it was pretty similar when you look at the way they started. But the fact that they already kind of started rounding back into their game in the second and then third period, and you can see where they are getting to playing Panthers hockey, I think that bodes a lot better for game 2. Although in that Boston series last year, they ended up winning that series in 5 anyways. But it feels like they're at least at a place where they're fine with their game after kind of getting off to that shaky start, as they do sometimes when they have a week-long layover and you have an environment like Toronto.
Yeah, man, that's a great environment. And let me tell you, and you get Ekblad back for game 2. So, it just makes you better. I was just talking about this because I don't know if you know what happened to me. Like 2 months ago, I fell in the bathroom in the middle of the night. For 25 years, I get up in the middle of the darkness and, muscle memory. I just go pee and come right back, right? And so because I lie in a little bit of an incline, I have stents in my heart. So apparently the doc told me that day when I went to the bathroom, the blood had not gone all the way to my head. So when I'm walking away from the toilet, I fall back, black out completely, My wife has to come save me. I'm convulsing, and I hit my head, and I got a gash in the back of my head. And so I'm 2 months off of it. I'm still having symptoms. Okay. So I see what happened to Stellars last night. And, one of the things that I've been telling people now is, now that I'm living it, like, we got to be careful with players when we're critical. Oh, why is it taking so long? Dude, these things, you don't know how long they're going to last. Like, neurologically, everything has checked out for me, but I still have a little bit of lightheadedness when I'm lying down a little bit, that when I get up, I got to kind of like, rebalance myself for a couple seconds, and then I'm off and running. And when I put my head on something cold where I hit my head, lights spin for like 4 seconds, 3-4 seconds, and then it stops, and then my brain or my everything adjusts. So these are little things that are happening to me, which if I was a player, I would not be able to go back to playing, especially freaking hockey. Are you kidding me? That kind of stuff. Because again, if I hit myself there where I haven't completely healed, and that's 2 months removed, that's crazy shit. So now last night, we're looking at the Stellars thing. I don't believe Bennett gave him. I don't know what they're saying in Toronto. I'm sure they're killing him. But dude, that puck, for me, that puck is what caused it, because I remember that once you get concussed, you have after effects, and they kind of, hit you after. And I'm kind of feeling that that's what it was. What's the talk with all that stuff with Stellars and Bennett?
Yeah, there was just a report that came out from Elliot Friedman that says that there's not going to be any discipline from the play on Sam Bennett, and it looked like it was pretty incidental contact when he was.
We lost him. Oh, he got a call, right? Is that what we're learning now, Sean? Colby Guy is getting a call. So once he hangs up with that person, then he says, hey, I'm doing an interview here, or I'm on the other line. Then he'll come back.
All right, there we go. I got a phone call in the middle of talking. I'm sorry about that. I hung up on them, but yeah. But anyways, so the league is not going to discipline Sam Bennett for this. He it looked like it was a bit of incidental contact, and like you said before, it looked like that shot Hart really put a number on him first. And I saw a tweet from a doctor that specializes in concussions, kind of saying that the symptoms really started with that particular hit rather than, or that particular shot rather than the hit, and everything kind of just exacerbated after that. So it doesn't look like anything's happening to Bennett, but everybody's hoping Anthony Stolarz is okay, obviously.
Definitely, dude. Take it from me. I just took a shot in the back of my head 2 months ago. It F's with you, bro. Okay? And especially that's at the moment when it happens, it F's with you pretty damn bad. And to me, when I saw that last night, and as you know more than all of us, those pucks are not just hard rubber, they're frozen hard rubber. So it oh my God, that shit hurts, bro. Hurts to get hit. And he didn't see it coming, which is he took the whole brunt of that thing, dude. That was bad, man. That was bad.
Yeah, and like he clearly had the shake after that shot. It came in at about 90 miles an hour, and it just didn't look good. And I mean, the fact that he wasn't pulled after showing some signs where I think the doctor on Twitter said it was about a 72% that was chance of him having a concussion with that particular symptom there. I think you need to the bigger conversation needs to be about the concussion spotters and why it took so long for them to get Stolarz out of that game.
Yeah, that to me is the real deal. Bob wasn't necessarily sharp last night. I'm not going to blame everything on Bob, but I'm going to say it wasn't the best Bob either, right?
Yeah, at least in the first period, there were a few weak ones he gave up. I mean, the first goal that William Nylander scored, there was a lot of bodies in front of the net, and he just found a very, very small hole at a wide angle. So that one you have to give to William Nylander. There were a couple breakdowns off the rush as well. I mean, especially on that fifth goal where Uvis Balinskis was late coming off the bench. Sam Reinhart still down in the offensive zone after getting tripped. So you only have 2 or 3 guys back there, and there's not much you could do defending that rush. So I wouldn't say it's completely on Sergei Bobrovsky, and he did calm down a lot after that first period too, because he made a couple of really good saves to help keep the Panthers in this one when they were making their comeback effort. But I mean, when you look at the first period, you definitely want to see a bit better from Sergey.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. That to me was one of the. And again, he's been on. He kind of then got on it after he had some really nice saves later on in the evening too. So he started to get in a groove himself. Also, what else did you see from that game that you were, not comfortable with? Let's just say.
I mean, yeah, the Mikhail Kulikov pairing kind of got eaten up a little bit when they were. This isn't going to be a problem anymore with Aaron Ekblad coming back, but Dmitry Kulikov didn't have his best game. He got beat a couple times, and I mean, this is a third pairing guy that's been forced to play second pairing minutes for past 15, 20 games with Aaron Ekblad out of the lineup. So that's something that's going to solve itself once he comes back, but he didn't have his best game, and there's also just a bunch of miscommunications throughout the lineup. And as I said on that fifth goal that Toronto got for insurance, Uvis Balinskis was late coming off the bench. There's some miscommunication there. In the first period, the puck movement was sloppy, and it just didn't look like they were able to get up that much. But once you got past that portion of the game, outside of a couple of other errors, it seemed like they worked themselves out.
Colby, how's that atmosphere, dude?
It is crazy. I mean, I'm not in Toronto. I couldn't make the trip. It's
No,
outside of my.
Been there, so I'm sure you know how crazy that, because these people are like, they're like Dolphins fans. Like, they haven't won a championship in like 50 years or something. When was the last time Toronto won one?
1967.
Right. Yeah. So Dolphins is 74. What the hell's the difference? 7 years. What are we talking about? So, and I almost feel it's like that. Like, obviously to another level with Toronto, they are the the center of everything when it comes to hockey. But they're fans. They love their team. They're dying for them to win one. I mean, that is one of those fan bases that kind of deserves it, because they've been so loyal and hanging in there, and they're still a powerhouse financially. Everything they have stuck with them, considering they don't win jack, dude.
I've always said that the Toronto Maple Leafs have the fan base of the New York Yankees and the team success of the Minnesota Twins.
Okay. I love that. Which is completely true, dude. Completely true. They have the fans that should have the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Chiefs or something. Yeah, you're right. They're the fans that should have a team that has gotten on a roll, the Patriots or something, Yeah, that is so true. And they don't get what they deserve, because their fandom. How many people fit out there, Colby, on the outside of the arena? How many people can they put out there?
There's thousands, and these people are outside the arena, while there's like about 20,000 more in the arena. So that entire city is just Maple Leafs, Maple Leafs, Maple Leafs, and they don't care about anything else. Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of the most crazy, passionate fan bases in sports, and it's up there with the Yankees and the Dodgers and all these other big American sports teams. Like, they are the New York Yankees of Canada.
I actually compare them more to like Manchester United fans or Liverpool fans. I think it's to the level of soccer. The fandom for them, for me, the way I see them, they treat it like soccer. That craziness. You know what I mean? There's very few American teams that have that kind, where they can line up thousands outside also. You know what I'm saying? And a whole city just shuts down. There's not a lot like that, bro. That's some crazy stuff, man. That's impressive. By the way, the Ekblad stuff, it's all become a blessing in disguise. When he got suspended, I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, they're so freaking deep. 5 years ago, 7 years ago, Ekblad's out. As Panther fans, we're like, oh, shit. What are they going to do? The defense is going to suck. But you can win now without a stud or two on this team because there's so many studs. And because he's so injury prone, unfortunately, I was like, dude, 20 games off. He'll be fresh for the playoffs. This is awesome. And then he gets this 2-game suspension, which sucks. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, they're deep enough. They can overcome. And now they'll get him back, and he's fresh. So that's one thing I do like about Ekblad in the suspensions. It has kept him fresh. And for a player that has dealt with a crap ton of injuries, dude, I kind of find it like a blessing in disguise for the Panthers, dude.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at how Aaron Ekblad played specifically in Game 4 of the Tampa series, because Game 3 it was a bit rough because there were some miscommunications that the Lightning were able to take advantage of, and of course, when you switch things up, that's going to happen. But in Game 4, he was a lot sturdier defensively, and he comes in, scores the big game-tying goal. But he looks healthy out there. And that's important when you're going deep into a playoff run to have a guy that's a bit fresher. And there are a few other guys that were able to kind of rest up and get fresher too when they were going through what they were going through late in the season. So that's going to help a lot going deep into the playoffs, and that's going to be a lot more important than home ice is. Obviously, they lost last night, but they're 3-1 on the road in the playoffs, so it's something they're comfortable with doing, and they were able to kind of fight back after falling into a hole early. So, I mean, I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah. Colby, the one thing last night, you gotta watch out with the penalties, man. You don't want to give this team too many power plays, right? I mean, that was kind of like keeping us on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, like as good as that penalty kill has been for the entire playoffs now, you don't want to give the Maple Leafs five chances a game. Because eventually they are going to find a hole, but also during that comeback effort, they took 2 penalties almost immediately after drawing back within a goal, and that kind of slowed them down a little bit. And who knows, if they don't take those 2 penalties, they might still be on the forecheck trying to find that equalizer, but they kind of had to step back and defend a little bit, and that took a little bit of the wind out of their sails. So even when you're getting a big penalty kill, and that is a pretty big boost for you. When you're pushing the way they were to start the third period, it definitely looked like it took a little bit of wind out of their sails to have to go back there and kill a couple of penalties while you're looking for that tying goal.
Colby, how can folks follow you and keep up with all your stuff, pucks and palms and everything else?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Colby D Guy, and you can find my Panthers coverage at pucksandpalms.com and also during the playoffs in the Palm Beach Post.
There you go. Colby, as always, I appreciate you, my brother. Enjoy the playoff run. You're on the only beat that actually is producing like a real team, bro. I mean, think about that. All right. The top dog is always the Dolphins. It's always football, but they haven't produced in decades. The Heat was the top dog in town for the last 25 years. Now the top dog, the team that is run top to bottom better than anybody else in town. That's the team you cover, dude. How crazy is that hockey top to bottom is the best organization in town?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, especially just looking at the way this organization was about 15, 20 years ago. It's definitely a big change, but it's definitely a welcome one.
Ownership does it all, dude. Ownership that's where it starts. That's where it ends. You get the right guy that knows how to put all the people in place. Eventually, it all works out, man. Colby, thank you, my brother. Enjoy the hockey. We'll catch up down the line.
Awesome. Thank you. You too.
You got it. Colby Guy, of course, Colby D Guy on Twitter. Good dude. He's always gonna wear like some stylish suit before each contest that he goes to, and then he'll throw out all the nuggets throughout the game. So we got some pretty good guys, man. With George Richards, with Dork, with Colby, Some pretty good guys that cover the Panthers and do a really good job. By the way, Toyota of Hollywood, Sean and myself will be there next Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month. All right. I'm right on that? It's next Wednesday, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. The Tacoma double cab right now, the SR5, you can get it for $399 a month. Folks, they are loaded right now with deals. They've got 2,000 vehicles. They've got over 1,200 new Toyotas in stock. And what I love is that if you're looking for whatever it is, a Tundra, you're looking for a Prius, a Corolla, a Camry, a hybrid, they're going to give you a nice large selection. It's not, oh yeah, we got 2 of them here. No, dude. It's going to be maybe 15 or 20 or 40 or 50 or 70. It's amazing. And everything is under roof. So it doesn't matter if it's raining or it's hot. It's cool and you're not getting wet. All right? So you can go check out all the vehicles, comfortable. They've got all the selections. Just go to the different floors depending on what vehicle you're looking for. And it's just really comfortable. Great service, too. I know some other car companies, I remember shopping with my daughter. You go and they give you 1 car. That's it. It's over. Like it or not, that's it. You take it. What kind of... No, dude. You go there, you get to choose the kind of color, the style, the model, all of that, and great service and a service center with 2 restaurants, giant lounge, TVs. You can relax, take it easy while they're changing your tires, rotating them, oil, tune up, whatever it is that you got to do to your car. They do it for you there at Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7, right on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Tell Herbie Lopez and all the great people out there that Big O sent you. Toyota of Hollywood. All right. Don't forget, you can make a donation to the show. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. Hateful Steve is in the house. He says, who gets concussed easier, Stolarz or Tua? Because that did not look like a big forearm last night. Now everyone is calling for Bennett to get suspended. Steve, I didn't see a major hit there. I'm telling you, it was the puck. That's why I wanted to talk a little bit about it, because I took a hit to the head. What Stolarz took from Bennett was not a concussion. No freaking way. It was the puck. It was the puck, dude. Poor guy, man. Listen, I have greater sympathy now than ever about concussions since I have literally gone through it now for 2 months. Okay? And I've never really been the guy that complains if it takes too long, because I've always said it to you guys and all, even when we had the pandemic and like everything was shut down, I was against that because hell, we were working all the time. But I was to taking care of yourself, and if you wanted a social distance and those kind of things, that's fine. It's understandable. I have 5 stents in my heart. So I don't know how it's going to affect me. It might treat me like a cold. I might get COVID and it goes right through me like nothing, or it could kill me. I don't know. My DNA is, we don't know. We don't know. Billions can take aspirin, and 3 or 4 outliers take the same aspirin, and it gives them a stroke or something. And you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? So some guys, Zonka, Hateful Steve, can lead with his head his entire life, and there he is, just normal. You know? Meanwhile, other guys, they lose their mind, they commit suicide, Junior Seau, all of that, because they had all kinds of head damage. And definitely when Tua suffers concussions, it's because he hits his head. Okay? That, I'm not picking on Stolarz for the Bennett thing. I am very sympathetic to Stolarz, but I'm more critical of the NHL and everybody around that they did not check him when he got hit by a puck. Apparently, Colby said it was 90 miles an hour. I did not know that. So 90-mile-an-hour frozen puck to the head, dude, that is going to rock your ass, okay? Because people hit the back of their heads with helmets, and it rocks them. So that was that, dude. Take it from somebody who has suffered a concussion recently and got absolutely rocked, okay? Yeah, definitely. I can sympathize with that. That was bad. Stephen Fenner says, Big O, you see all the Leafs fans calling for Sam Bennett suspension. Yeah, I don't know. Well, if Elliott already, and that's like the top insider in hockey, he said there's not going to be a suspension or fine. There shouldn't be. It was the puck. Okay. What they should do is suspend and fine the people that were in charge of concussions in that game after the puck hit them. That's what they should do. That's where they failed, bro. That's exactly where they failed. All right, let's talk a little football. We come back with hour number 2, David Furones, and our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report. And if you need a lawyer you can count on, or lawyers, well, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom, those guys are pit bulls, baby. 954-966-4646. Hour number 2 starts with the little Dolphins talk and David Furones.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
South Florida, listen carefully. Asmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Asmani Garcia delivers results. Asmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. How you doing, buddy? You doing good?
Doing good, Big O. How are you?
Good, man. Good. So, who's your top 5 receivers to cover?
Top 5 receivers to cover in response to Tyreek Hill's top 5 quarterbacks. Love it. So I haven't even talked to him, but I'll go with Nick Westbrook-Akine up there. Oh, man, it's wild.
It really is amazing how, out of touch he is. Whatever. Is Tua top 5? No, he's not, actually. So it doesn't really matter at this point. Is he top 5 in accuracy? Actually, he's top 1 in accuracy. But, whatever. It doesn't really matter, To me, all of that is nothing. It's a nothing story. The worst part
I didn't
about
write it myself.
Huh? What?
I didn't write something over it myself either, or even post it. But.
To me, the worst part about the whole thing is everybody's livelihood depends on that guy, and his family can't depend on him. So now his teammates have to depend on him. His quarterback has to depend on him. His coaches have to depend on him. The front office, the ownership, and fans have to depend on him. And he fails everybody. And this is kind of part of the story of this whole thing that's going on with this team. You know, I'm sorry, you know, maybe you haven't gone all out, but like, am I supposed to count on Mike McDaniel to all of a sudden become a good coach and fix every wrong that he has shown us for 3 straight years, that he commits the same mistakes for 3 straight years? There's been no improvement. Am I supposed to like lie to myself on this? So to me, what you saw from Tyreek over the weekend, it's just an extension of whoever is part of the Dolphin world. You need to count on things that are just too inconsistent, whether it's going to be your Dolphin secondary, whether it's been the offensive line, whether it's the dedication to the running game, the head coach, the number 1 wide receiver on your team. There's just so much instability for you to hope to have the stability you need in order to have success.
Yeah, and Tyreek Hill reminds you of that every opportunity he gets. It seems like it's just like Tyreek, the way his mind works is like, hey, you know what? I haven't bothered anyone online, made the offseason a nightmare of late in the last like week or so. Let me go just throw this out there, even though obviously I know what I'm doing. And it's only a story, or even like I didn't make it a story. I didn't write it. I didn't even like repost it. Because I mean, yeah, are we going to really say, oh, you have to have Tua in your top 5? Well, only because it's his quarterback, and only because in the past he has done that for Tua, going above and beyond to back him up. So that's why now it's a difference. Okay, you were saying that when Tua was new to you, and you were trying to build this connection, build this chemistry when you had just joined the Dolphins, but now it's been a few years. You had this rocky end of last season, and Tua missed those 6 games, and your numbers were down, and you missed the Pro Bowl for the first time in your career. And then now all of a sudden, we do notice this change, that you don't have him in your top 5, and you go with what's probably more of a true top 5 in the league, if you will.
Yeah, no, that's why I just think I have no hope for this season, to be quite honest. You know what I mean? It's just that's the problem I have with this season, that it's just the things that are in place are not building blocks. You know, you watched the team last night. It's funny because I tweeted this out last night. The Heat and the Dolphins don't possess anything like the Panthers, and the Panthers possess everything you want in your sports team. The character, the toughness, the resiliency, the stars that can actually get it done, the discipline that it takes. Last night, they played like shit pretty much for 2 periods. And then all of a sudden, did they give up? No, they turned it on, and they actually made it a game. And playing like shit, they lost by 1 goal.
Yeah.
Where I walked away like, dude, they're good. They're fine, bro. This is pretty damn good. You know what I mean? A loss by the Heat or a loss by the Dolphins, and it's like, you know, the world is falling for us. You know, it's just there's a different level of confidence. There's a different level of professionalism. There's actually real stars on that team that come through. And then there's a coach that really can put everything together. The Heat have that. He just doesn't have the talent, you know, anymore to coach it, unfortunately. But it's weird like that. That's why the Dolphins, it's hard. And when you see this stuff, and you know the Jalen Ramsey stuff is lingering till next month, it's just.
Yeah, and you earn that trust as a sports team when you have that experience and you've done it before. Like we felt the same way about the Big 3 Heat, where once they won that first championship, which they did have to get over that hump because they still choked in 2011 against the Mavericks, and then They were down in that Pacers series the next year, 2-1 before they won 3 straight. They were down 3-2 to the Celtics and facing elimination in Boston when LeBron went off in that one. But then once they got over that hump, beat OKC in 5, then the next year, no matter what hit them, you kind of still felt confident. Okay, they can pull through this. Even when the Eastern Conference Finals went 7 games against Indiana, you never really felt threatened for Game 7 at home. You knew they would get there. And then they came down 5 with 20-something seconds left. Ray Allen hits the shot. And, down to that last second where you're finally starting to think, okay, now it might be serious where they get eliminated. And no, they still come through. So you earn that, and the Dolphins, for one, have given you no reason to believe that, because over time we've seen the opposite. It's if you get into the playoffs, it's as a wild card team that just goes on the road and bows out in the first round, and that's sort of the ceiling where, hey, even when you are 2-6 to start the year and then are coming back, you kind of just see there's like this hard ceiling where, all right, that the most you can do is get into week 18 with a chance, need some help, and you didn't get the help this year, and then you're out of the playoffs. So, they don't really give you that same feeling of, okay, I can trust this team because it's what we've seen.
Okay, so here's a multi-level, complicated question that I got to ask you, and you may not have all the information for it because it's really hard to gather all this information on what's going on. The secondary needs help, no matter what anybody says. Okay, so you've got the whole Jalen Ramsey mess going on. That'll happen after June 1st, right? I think it is, right? Or June, what's the date? June 1st, June 6th?
Yeah. If it's post June 1, which I think would make sense, but Chris Greer said they'll make the trade happen whenever they can.
Okay, so because I'm sure teams know they got to get rid of him, they're going to want him to pay even more money, and then they got to take more of a cap hit. So, again, multi-level question here. Have they not added a veteran corner because they've got cap issues they need to resolve and know where they stand next month, and those guys that are available are still going to be around? 2, this also happens sometimes. You don't want to sign some of these veterans that are around because you don't want to bring them in for mini camps and all that and put them out there for injuries. You'd rather sign them late in the offseason so that way they just report to training camp and then you can ease them in and not put the wear and tear of the mini camps on them, because it just puts them in a position where they could risk injury. So are they delaying to sign a guy because of the issue of, all right, let's not put wear and tear on these older guys with all these mini camps that they don't really need? Or is it a salary thing? Or is it a they're not attractive thing? What is going on? Why they haven't added a corner? Why do you feel? Because I can think of many reasons with my experience of covering this shit, but I know they need a corner. Now, do they desperately need them in a mini camp? Not really. So you tell me what's going on.
No, yeah, there's so many layers to it, and that being one of them. So for the more veteran guys, and yeah, you don't really need a mini camp, OTAs. You don't need to put guys through that. Like we saw the Calais Campbell transaction last offseason. That occurred in June. I remember actually it was like the Panthers were playing a Stanley Cup final game the night that it went down. So it kind of got buried, and he ends up it's obviously a great player.
Well, people were writing that he was out of shape at the beginning, and it's like, well, yeah, bro, he's got to get in a groove,
rev that motor back up. But you trust him to.
Bro, yeah, dude,
yeah,
definitely.
Right.
It's like Brent Grimes when they signed him, and he was coming off an Achilles. I told everybody, bro, don't worry about Brent Grimes. He's a pro. We learned to worry about his wife, but as for Brett Grimes, he was a total pro. You don't have to worry. With that injury, he'll treat it like a professional. And the same thing with Calais Campbell. Why am I going to wear him out for stupid mini camps? Bro, he's a seasoned veteran. He knows what he needs to do. Let me bring him for training camp, and that'll be with training camp and preseason. He's got plenty of time to get in game shape. You know what I mean? So That's why I'm saying that could be the reason. Is it money? Is it that they're having trouble attracting somebody? That's why I don't know what's going on, but you agree they've got to improve the secondary big time.
Absolutely. Yeah. They need at least one veteran signing. And I mean, you could be counting on Cam Smith because you did draft him a couple years ago in the second round, and you need him to step up. So that's why I'm saying they might not go for two surefire starters, because I know you do the math and you're like, all right, if Jalen Ramsey's getting traded, if you release Kendall Fuller, you need two veterans, and you didn't draft a guy early on in the draft. So I understand that math, but like they did draft that Cam Smith guy in the second round with the expectation of him growing. Now, can he do it? That's going to be on him, and he's been held back by injuries and other things. So between him and Storm Duck, you're maybe hoping for one of those spots. And then the guy that you sign, whether it's a Rasul Douglas, who turns 30 before next season, he's a guy that you won't need to go send out there through the offseason gambit of workouts. You can sort of trust him. And Asante Samuel's another guy that's out there, but he also was on IR for a lot of last season, but he's still young. It would benefit him to get into the building at least with a new team. He only played out his rookie contract, 4-year pro at this point as he hit free agency. But just the fact that there's multiple guys still out there maybe leads to not necessarily the same level of urgency. Like you're not down to that last guy, but I do feel it's still an appeal because of the playing time opportunities for the guys that are still out there. Like this is a huge playing. Like you're a guaranteed starter. You come into the Dolphins as one of the remaining free agent cornerbacks, whereas it's not that many places where there is such a glaring hole of yes, you will immediately be that guy to start for us if you come here.
By the way, it's funny because you came full circle, because we started off the whole thing with, this is like a season where I look at it. I can't count on the coach because he's done the same shit for 3 years. I can't count on Tyreek. How can I count on anything? I can't count on Eichenberg. He's one of your top reserves. I can't count on Julian Hill. And now you're telling me to count on Cam Smith.
Well, look at the depth chart. You got Cater Cole, who was one guy.
That's my problem with all of this, bro. That's my problem with all of this. I'm a Dolphin fan that has to count on the uncountable, if that's a word. Okay, it's just you're asking me to count on Cam Smith too. At least you tell me Storm Duck. I got a little hope for him still. It's fine. He's still young, but man, after watching,
Cam Smith is still young too.
Yeah, but Cam's immaturity and his lack of professionalism to all of this, plus the injuries. It's a double whammy. Now you're asking me to count on another guy that I can't count on. You know what I'm saying? It's tough, dude. It's tough. You're going to be the hopium writer again. Well, if this goes on and if this goes on and if this goes on, hey, they can win 9 or 10 games and sneak into the playoffs.
Hey, that's my ceiling, is just sneaking into the playoffs with some help on week 18. Okay, if I was a hopium guy, I'd be saying, they could really give the Bills a run for the AFC East, which is not what I'm going to do.
Sideline to Michael Jordan, since the roof is your ceiling.
Yeah.
All right.
And you say Storm Duck is young. I think I'd have to look it up to be sure, but I think Cam Smith might even be younger than him, even though he's been in the league one more year. Because Storm Duck played a lot of college years too. So I'd have to look up their date of birth to be sure, but I think so.
The infamous Ethan Bonner now will be talked about again.
Training camp legend, Ethan Bonner.
Right. What are you expecting from minicamp?
From the rookie minicamp coming up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll just get another shot. As far as from the media side of it, we just get another chance to talk to these guys. We'll see them in person, just in front of us as far as in the media setting, but not too much of the workouts. If it's like the past years, we really just see some the stretches to start and some positional drills. maybe you could get a little bit of a feel of how a guy moves in person, but, you're not going to see him in the team setting or see maybe there's some one-on-ones, but even that I might not be sure. Yeah, we haven't gotten the full rundown of what we'll have access to. So hopefully there are some one-on-ones, but I don't think we will see like the 7-on-7, 11, the team drills. None of that at rookie minicamp these days. But yeah, just another opportunity to see these guys in this draft class. I did see Kenneth Grant already in person from the day after he had his introductory press conference. And,
I like that pick.
An impressive young man, and I expect the same out of Jonah Savaianaya. How about that? How about the way I just nailed that pronunciation? I think. I get a chance to see him as well, and maybe something else sticks out from some of those late round guys. It'd be good to see if one of them gives you something.
What are you working on the Sentinel this week so Dolph fans can check it out?
Yeah, I'll have a couple stories tomorrow on some interviews. Don't know yet who we'll be talking to, but some off-season vibes from the team. Get the feel for how off-season workouts are going. Which one thing which we have seen, Tua has been out there, Tyreek has been in there, Jalen Waddle as well. So some of those veterans that. These are extremely voluntary workouts, especially the early phases. And that is one thing that could give you some hope is, hey, like early in the offseason, they're already sort of with a mindset of changing what's going on. So let's see if that turns into something down the road.
I really was hoping that Tyreek would have said that Shedeur Sanders is one of his 5 favorite quarterbacks. Now, that would have been fun. You know what I mean? So, got a little spice to it. By the way, Welton Rayom, Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom, the consultation's free. So if something happened to you, you don't know if you have a case or not, call Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom, ask for them, explain your case. They'll tell you if you have one or not. 954-966-4646, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Call my guys, Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom. Support the amazing people that support us. And plus, our beloved governor, he gave the insurance companies an advantage over us, the customers. The most important thing you'll do is hire the right lawyers. And like a lot of our listeners have done already in the last 4 years, they have hired Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom, and so did we. And they're much better because of it. 954-966-4646. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up on Friday, my friend. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
You got it.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
You got to count on the people that there's no way you can count on them to save our Dolphins. Come on, man. Come on. Kansas City got rid of this fool and went on to win more championships without him. So it's not good, man. Not good. What can I tell you? Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum, Chainlink, and Solana donation too, which is cool. Nobody's made a Solana yet. Let's see what else. And of course, you can help us get to Spain. Sean will show you the QR code there. Thank you all as always. Bitcoin right now, it is at 94,306. The Dow is down 130 points. The S&P is down 16. The NASDAQ is just barely up by a hair. So not by much. Not by much there. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. If your company, your corporation needs custom printing and embroidery, please call Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. You can do it anywhere in the country. You do all of that stuff by Zoom and email and all that, and then they can ship the product to you right away. Last night in Oki, second round for the Panthers in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They lose to Toronto 5-4, so Toronto leads 1-0 in that series. Game 2 will be Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Last night in the NBA, the Knicks came back from 20 down. They surprised the Celtics 108-105, take a 1-0 lead. Anunoby with 29 points. Let's see what else. Nuggets over the Thunder, 121-119. Denver takes a 1-0 lead behind 42 points from Nikola Jovic. Tonight, it's Pacers and Cavs at 7 o'clock. Cavs are favored by 9. Over and under is 229.5. 9:30, Wolves and Warriors at T-Wolves. Wolves favored by 7. Over and under is 209.5. And Saturday, Inter Miami back in action, taking on Minnesota. They'll be on the road, by the way, in Minnesota. All right. So that's your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. We got Dolphin OTA starting on Friday. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about here? Let me see what you guys got here on the chat board before I continue to be fair. Let's see. NorCal says, dude, that's a perfect description of me. An unrealistic sense of hope. The Dolphins can do it. My hope could be crushed early. Yeah, probably will be, unfortunately. So Fernando says, Greer does a good job. He just needs to hit on a great head coach with experience. No more project coaches. I hope he survives, dude. I hope he survives. But, because of the two coaches, and again, maybe this wasn't his coach. The whole Tyreek thing, obviously, that's, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just wonder sometimes, is there still too many politics involved in that building? And, people aren't really allowed to do their jobs. I do know this, that we've had a lot of talent come through the last 7 years, more than normal. And so that's where I have a problem with all of this, But yeah, the picking of the coaches has not worked out for Greer, McKenzie, or Allen. Okay, because those are the guys that made the decisions. Now McKenzie's gone, so now you've got Greer and Allen left. And just sucks, dude. Just sucks. This sucks. Yes, Stolarz played with us, yes, for the last 2 years. That's why the whole trading of Stephen Knight, and people were freaking out. It's like, bro, these people find goalies. Drieger helped us. Look at the Stolarz. He was here with us, and now he's kicking ass and starting. We got good goalie coaches. They got a good eye. And so they'll find somebody. And maybe they got somebody in the minors that they like for the future. Bob's going to play for at least 2 more seasons. So that's why there was a lot of overreaction when they got rid of Stephen Knight. Oscar Rojas is in the house. He's smashing it. Let's see. What else? Jake from Palatown says, need to suspend the damn puck. What else? With everything that has happened this offseason, True Fin Fan says, how can anyone truly expect a good season from the Dolphins? Brace for impact for the 2025 season. Hope I'm wrong, but it feels like it. Yep. I agree. Going into the season with Storm Duck and Cam Smith as your premier DBs smells like problems. The only thing we can bank on is if the front 4 put pressure on the O-line. Front 7, dude. You're going to need Sealer and what's the name of the big kid they just drafted now? Forgetting his damn name. You're going to need those guys to cave in the pocket and put some pressure themselves.
Kenneth
Grant. Yeah. So you're going to need them to help out. It's the whole line's got to help out, the whole front. The outside backers, obviously, but on the D line, they got to help out too, man. Yeah, it's got because if that secondary is going to get exposed badly if you don't do that. It's a bad secondary that's good. It's going to be for the Dolphins, unless all these young guys all of a sudden the lights go on and they play like we've never seen them play. You know, that kind of stuff. So, I remember when the Dolphins finally had Bills at home for an AFC Championship game. I really thought they would finally beat them and go to the Super Bowl. We got our faces kicked in. Still hurts. Yep. Yeah. That's been the story of our lives, dude. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was as hopeful as I've ever been for the Dolphins the last couple of years, as you all know. But, you know, I got to be objective here. You know, it doesn't look good. Some of the decisions haven't worked out. And as much as I like the front office and get criticized by you guys for it, yeah, they made a bunch of mistakes here. And it hasn't worked out for them. So that's why I have no argument there for those of you that want to make wholesale changes and all that kind of stuff. I really don't want to. I really would rather stay with the front office guys, but I understand. You know, totally understand. There's been a couple things that have gone on, and, you know, but it is what it is, and I don't really have much hope for anything else this season, to be quite honest. You know, Spencer night. What did I say? I said something else? Whatever. Maybe I'm still concussed.
You said Steven Knight, but we knew it.
Oh, Steven Knight. Okay. They're always like dying to correct me. They, you know, if I say just one thing, it's just, you know, got to correct him right away. You know, because of course, if he's not perfect, you know, it is what it is. What can I tell you? By the way, Sean, will you be wearing a piano on Thursday to the show? No?
No.
All right. I mean, Andre 3000 wore one yesterday, the Met Gala. That was crazy, dude. Demi Moore, she had like a roof. What was that? These people come up with, I don't know. Was that Halloween or was, whatever. Anyway, some weird ass shit. Let's get to a little music. Let's do that before we get back to a little sports talk, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, Kendrick Lamar, although it's 3 years away, the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics could feature an involvement of none other than Kendrick Lamar. Casey Wasserman, the rapper's booking agent and the Olympics organizing committee chairman, told the Associated Press that a .com Compton native could participate in the 2028 event one way or another. Fortunately, in my day job, I represent Kendrick Lamar. He said, he is truly an LA icon, so I think it would be a pretty fair bet that Kendrick will be involved in the Olympics in Los Angeles some way. No conflict of interest there. Anyway, he further shared that the International Olympic Committee, IOC, is aiming to help rebuild the city of Los Angeles following the devastating wildfires. The rebirth, the rebuild, may be reimagining LA 2.0 and the Olympics as a catalyst for all those things. We think that really is a part of our ethos. Wasserman shared, you can't have a natural disaster at that scale in a city as big and as important as Los Angeles and not have it be a part of your core philosophy going forward. It goes on to, talk about it, but so Kendrick Lamar, speaking of our music segment, could be actually in the Olympics. How about that? What a run for that young man. Holy shit, dude. That's badass. That is definitely badass. Let's see. All right, let's go to musicians. First and foremost. Meek Mill was born on this date, the rapper, born in 87 on this date. Chris Shiflett, guitarist with the Foo Fighters, born in 71. He joined them in 99. Let's see who else. Mark Bryan, guitarist with Hootie and the Blowfish, born in 67. Larry Steinbach, keyboardist with the Bronski Beat. Tell me why. Let's see who else. Robbie McIntosh, our drummer with the Average White Band. Oh my God, Mary McGregor. I would have never guessed this if I didn't see the song she sung. Torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool. Anyway, that was a number one in 77. I'm old, bro. You know, there's just a lot of stuff in there. She was born in 48. Bob Seger, baby. Now that is an American icon, an American treasure. Born in 45, Bob Seger. Let's see. Colin Earl from Mungo Jerry, born in 42. Leon Hughes, American singer with the Coasters, born in 29. And that is it for musicians. Now let's go with other famous people born on May 6th. Sigmund Freud was born on this date in 56. 1856. Rudolph Valentino, actor, born in 1895. Orson Welles, born in 1915, the actor. Baseball Hall of Famer Willie Mays, born in 31. Tom Bergeron, TV personality, born in 55. He is 70 today. George Clooney, born in 61. He is 64 today. Martin Brodeur, hockey player, goalie, great goalie for the Devils. Born in 72. He's 53 today. Adrian Palicki, actor, born in 83. He's 42. And that is it for famous people. Sean Stanley, you take over, sir. Any wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir. Amir Jordan turns 28. The Nasty Boy, Brian Knobbs, he turned 61. CM Punk's best friend, Colt Cabana, he's 45. The recently released Dakota Kai, she's 37. And Lash Legend is 28 on May 6th. 2025.
All right. Let's move over to a little music history. In 97, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony was held in Cleveland for the first time. Its inductees were Crosby, Stills, Nash, the Jackson 5, the Bee Gees, Buffalo Springfield, Joni Mitchell, the Young Rascals, and Parliament Funkadelic. It's a hell of a list, dude. In 2001, Metallica drummer Lars Ulrich and his wife Skylar welcomed Lane, their second son. In 65, in Clearwater, Florida, in a hotel room, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards worked out the iconic opening riff for I Can't Get No Satisfaction. And I try. After Keith bought a Gibson Fuzz box earlier that day. In 2006, Pink Floyd reached a crazy milestone when their 73 album, Dark Side of the Moon, hit 1,500 weeks on the Billboard charts. 1,500 weeks. In 73, Boston's Music Hall, Paul Simon, kicked off his first solo tour since splitting with Art Garfunkel. He slipped out the back, Jack. In 2005, Audioslave became the first American rock act to perform a free outdoor concert in Cuba. I did not know that. Audioslave was the first act to do a free concert in Cuba in 2005. As CeeLo Green would say, ain't that some shit? What else? What else do we have going on? By the way, if you're a Tesla fan, not the vehicle, the Rock Band, they're starting a Las Vegas residency October 17, 18, 22, 24, 25. Starts at 8:30. Steve Miller Band has been announced. He is coming to Florida. Hard Rock Live, Hollywood, October 5th. St. Augustine, October 7th. And Tampa, October 7th. So there you go. You got that going on. Corso, here he goes. What's your favorite Disney movie? Wow. My problem with that, Corso, is I'm going to forget something that's a Disney movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be, I don't know, favorite Disney movie. Return to Witch Mountain. The fact they had the balls to return, I thought that was strong. No, I think that was like an ABC movie anyways. It wasn't really. What would be my favorite Disney movie, dude? I don't know. Don't know. I'd have to look at a list because I'm going to say something and guaranteed you guys, like always, whatever. How did you forget this? How did you not mention this? How did you, and that's what's going to happen with all that, I am not educated enough to remember all the Disney movies right now that I can say, oh my God, this is my favorite Disney movie. Don't know. Mary Poppins, let's do it. There we go. Jungle Book, of course. Jungle Book. There we go. Up is my favorite Disney movie. I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask. I don't have a, Star Wars is not a Disney movie. Just because they own it now, they're not Disney movies. So, that would be a lie. Okay. So I know that they create all the new stuff now, but I wouldn't call that a Disney movie ever. Would never call Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. None of that would ever be considered a Disney movie just because they bought the rights to it. So, right, Aladdin and Lion King, and those are the legit, Old Yeller. That's it. Dog gets rabies. I got a Christy Gnome the bitch. That's it. I'm with you. That's Christy Gnome's favorite movie, by the way. Old Yeller. But would you want to wake up next to that without makeup? Danica, dude, what's going on? Anyway. What else do we have? Oh, by the way, the NFL. This is crazy. Okay? This is insanity. I don't know if you guys saw this, but the NFL just awarded Washington, D.C. the draft. Well, the District of Columbia will shatter attendance records when hosting the NFL draft in 2 years. Washington Commander owner Josh Harris and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell predicted Monday during a news conference at the White House. John Keim of ESPN reports, call it the million-fan 3-day march. I believe we'll get over 1 million people, Harris said. We believe we'll have well over 1 million people when we come here, Goodell said. And, you know, you got to, it's a couple things. Dude, I don't care about either side again. I make fun of Democrats and I make fun of Republicans. And if they ever do something good, I'll say they'll do something good. Okay? All right. And if they do something bad, I'm more than happily tell you what each side does, because they both do a lot of stupid shit. But perfect storm for all of this. One, Trump was already picking on the DC mayor for the streets, so they're going to clean up the streets leading up to it. Two, Washington, D.C. is a phenomenal city. I've been to Washington, D.C. twice. Okay? That it's kind of like, you know, when Sean and I went to like Seattle and LA this year, we knew we were going to a destination besides the game. You know what I'm saying? When we went to Buffalo and Indianapolis, those aren't destinations. No offense. Okay. They're not destinations. Although the Niagara Falls was a cool thing. But again, the Buffalo side of the Niagara Falls, you really want to be on the Canada side of the Niagara Falls. Anyways, it's actually the really nicer side. But anyway, just I just think that they might be right. That might set the record for attendance for the NFL draft. I think a lot of people want to be there because that's a cool place to go. You get to see all the museums and everything going on. DC is a cool place, man. And I know that crime has actually been on the way down there as it is. You know what I'm saying? So they're starting to clean it up. I know that they're gentrifying Baltimore and that kind of stuff. And then you've got the orangutan wanting to clean it up even more and all of that. So I just think it's going to be a perfect scenario that, yeah, DC is going to be very attractive to sports fans. And I could see a lot of them going, yeah, no, dude, that's a great weekend to go. Enjoy the draft, enjoy the city, and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool to see 1 million people at the draft if that happens in 2 years. That's impressive, man. I mean, to get as many people as they got this year to Green Bay, it's insanity. Let's see. Named my first dog Yeller. Looked identical. My best buddy growing up. That was a sad movie, bro. True Finn fan. I'm a huge Pirates of the Caribbean nerd. Well, that's an official Disney movie. There you go. That's my problem. See, I would have forgotten that. That's a great movie. You know? Anthony says, help me out. Summer vacay to Epic Universal, New Park, or Atlantis, Bahamas. Oh, no, dude, Universal. I've been to Atlantis, Bahamas, and it's cool, but much more things to do in Central Florida, my brother. Much more. It's not even close. Yeah, that pool is cool, and the fish and all, but you have that dude, just go to SeaWorld. You'll see more of it. You know? I would rather go to Universal. And by the way, remember, the Bahamas is expensive. Okay? Cool place. You can enjoy yourself. I've been to the Bahamas 100 times. People are awesome, but it is expensive. So if you're going to spend all that money, hey, by the way, are you good with passports and IDs and all that? Because, you know, some people, you know, they have trouble getting back into the Roach Motel. Just saying. Just saying, be careful. If you get out, you might not be able to come back in. Okay. Let's see. What other city besides Miami would you live in? Well, now it's none. Now I want to live out of the country now because I can't afford it. We're getting too expensive. Inflation and hyperinflation is going to kick in. The dollar is going to be worth less and less and less. They're going to continue to print and devalue the dollar. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford to live here. So that's my real problem. So I don't really want to move to another city anymore. Western Carolina, Northwestern North Carolina is where I wanted to move to. That was my target place. And then there was another place, Columbus, Georgia, was another place. Looking for something a little more smaller, rural, and where you can get more bang for your buck for the property and all that, and maybe, where it has a potential to grow from there, kind of like that. Hendersonville, I think, is the place that I was looking at, which is south of Boone and, in North Carolina, also a small town. But I have scrapped those. It's Panama now. So that's where I want to move to now. I want to move to Panama. So I don't think I can afford it. And Panama gives me Miami living, but at a cheaper rate. So, and I can do this there, actually. I don't need to be at Dolphins camp or Heat camp or to know what's going on. I see everything. I see all the press conferences, all that, and I pretty much can read all of the local teams better than most people as it is. You know what I'm saying? So, I can do all of this anywhere in the world. No moving to another town in this country anymore. Skylar says Hendersonville is south of Asheville, not Boone. There it is, Asheville. But it's Hendersonville, right? That I pronounced it right? Yeah, that's one of the towns that I was looking at. Hendersonville in North Carolina. And Columbus, was it? No, not, did I say Columbus? What was it? Yeah, in Georgia. Did I say Columbus? Was it that I said? I don't know why now I'm questioning that if it was. Yeah, I think it is Columbus, Georgia. Yes, it's on the west side of Georgia, if that's the one, at the middle of the state or something. Yeah, something like that. So, but those things are scrapped, done, history in the archives. Not doing that anymore. I'm gonna go in Panama, Costa Rica, baby. Panama, Costa Rica. Nice, healthy living. So that's what I'm going to choose to do instead. My brother lives in Asheville, been there for 2 years. And Asheville is fantastic. Western North Carolina is awesome. There's a lot of great places to live in Western North Carolina. Okay. And I was choosing Western North Carolina because they were out of the tornado belt. They were out of the hurricane belt. Well, are they now? Not anymore. And that's why I'm moving down also to Panama. Not only is it cheaper, no more hurricanes. We don't get any hurricanes down there. It's over. So I don't have to deal with that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather do that, because the hurricane thing, all we're doing is playing Russian roulette. You and I know that. If we live in Florida or you live in Georgia coast or South Carolina, North Carolina, or obviously in the Gulf, all we're doing is playing Russian roulette. We're all going to get walloped by storms. It's only a matter of time. All the big storms have hit on the West Coast. When's our turn on the East Coast? You think it's never going to happen? Come on, dude. That cycle is going to happen. And, so I want to hopefully avoid all of that and stop dealing with it, by the way. And then also stop dealing with the expensive nature of our existence in this country. And it's only going to get more expensive. Doesn't matter who's in office. So, that's where I'm at now. I've pretty much made up my mind. So one way or another, this show will be originating from another country eventually. Could be Uruguay too. Could hang out a little bit in Madeira. little Mauritius. Several places I'd like to go and hang out for a while. It's really a couple really nice places in the world where you can hang out and have a good time. You know, maybe stop by in Barbados. Some good places that you can go to and enjoy your life. What else? Oh, since you're mentioning Panama, I can get Van Halen's Panama dun, 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 out of my head. It's a great song. It's an excellent song, my brother. Why would you want to do that? Keep it in your head, baby. We forgot to mention that effer Justin Tucker got released. They drafted, what was the name of the kid? Because I don't know. Tyler Loop in the 6th round from Arizona. They're signing a Wyoming kicker that's undrafted named John Hoyland. And they finally released Justin Tucker. They made it sound like a football decision, which is hilarious because do they think we're stupid? Like the whole Jalen Ramsey thing. Well, you know, it was mutual and we're going to, and as much as I like Chris Greer, I mean, that doesn't fly, bro. Nobody's going to believe that. You know? Come on. But yeah, no, we're stupid. Yeah, no, that was a football decision. No, that was a criminal decision. You think you've got a criminal at kicker. You just figured it out. Or maybe, I don't know. But they finally released him. I mean, talk about, boy, that is taking your world to depths that are just ugly. Ocala Joe says, oh, you're not kidding. Right now, with the way things are, leaving the country with Hispanic name, it's scary. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Definitely, bro. You got to be careful leaving the country then to come back, you know, that they don't give you a hassle for that. By the way, the Dow is now down 242 points. The S&P is down 29. The NASDAQ is about to go red. It's like barely up. And Bitcoin was at 94.3. Now it's at 94.549. Now it's going back up again. Now it's on a little run. It hit 93.6, and now it's at 94.549. So almost 1,000. It's moved up. So it's starting to bounce. That's what it's all about. All right, folks, we appreciate all of you out there as always. If you made a donation, thank you. If you make a donation throughout the day or night, we appreciate it. As always, we'll mention it on the next show as always. Thank you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We have some awesome sponsors. Acura of Pembroke Pines, RM Contractors, Caneswear, Welton Rayom, Cutter's Edge Pro, Toyota of Hollywood, Hialeah Park, BigCheeseMiami.com, Moodius Dental, Subaru of Pembroke Pines. And remember, at Caneswear, use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. And if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. And you see there at Hialeah Park, you can get your free $100 no-regret first bet. So use that QR code or get in on the Hialeah website, sign up. And if you have a Hard Rock account already, use a different phone number or email so you can make your bet and get the $100. So have some fun out there. We'll see you tomorrow. We thank Sean Stanley. We thank, by the way, Colby Guy and David Furones. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.